I don't know. This is like Twitter changes a lot of different things. One minute it works, 1 minute it doesn't. Like, my Twitter Spaces on my iPad was great, even though I couldn't see anyone. But it was really nice because I had a big iPad. I could see everybody on my screen.
Yes.
Much better than on my phone. But then they took it away. They say it was a bug.
What they took it away really? Because I read a guy told you that you didn't have it anymore because it was a bug in Apple.
No, I'm so upset. I wish the bug would come back.
Oh God, no! That should come.
I know.
That should come back. That should come back. That's good for and iPads are great. I mean, they're okay. Here we have welcome to music NFTs
Music
domain.
NFTs, yes. Actually, I'm gonna relaunch my NFTs music radio because I got one thing I loved doing was throwing the NFT music concert. Because I really enjoyed doing that. Actually, it was fun, and I have so much analytics from running all these music NFT concerts and stuff.
Yes, I remember you were commenting on that somewhere. It
I
was
have so much analytics. I literally know how much everybody that does music NFTs. I have a database. You would not believe how many. We had like thousands of people per session. So it was kind of crazy.
okay. I want to give a microphone. Oh, okay. Music is already a speaker. Brent is still a listener. I don't see him like a speaker.
He's doing in real life stuff right now, probably. Hey, how are you? How's it going?
Hi there. Good evening, guys. Tanya and Carlos and Brent. Hi there. Just hanging out, listening in, trying to meet some new people this afternoon. And
How was your Sunday? Where are you? Where in the plan? Ah, you're in Los Angeles. Great.
I am, yeah.
I was. How's the weather? Is too hot or is okay?
It's actually okay. Going further east, heading towards Phoenix and whatnot. Yeah, I would not want to be caught outside there. But here it's not so bad. It's like 80s, 70s, high 70s, 80s where I'm at.
Okay, I have a friend there in California near Napa Valley, and she was like cooking alive like 5 days ago. She was telling me that it was like said, "Oh my goodness, this is an oven." I say an oven here.
Yeah. A
But
couple days last week, it got up into the hundreds. Yeah, kind of stayed inside from there. So.
Well, that's
yeah,
how it's like
exactly.
in South Florida. I mean, South Florida, we're freaking. It was so humid. The AC can't pump fast enough for us down here.
Go figure.
So tell me
And
about your project. Tell me about what you So you do domain music NFTs domain.
Yeah, there's a blockchain called Handshake. Handshake allows you to purchase top level domains. And navigating around the space, I was, trying to figure my way out in Web3 and crypto and things like that. And Handshake was very interesting. Um, they're gonna allow decentralized websites, as well as identity. It provides identity services as well. It's actually a blockchain that's getting built on, and I just had the opportunity, being in the space. I wanted, to do a passion project, and I love the NFT space. I think the music, specifically the music NFT space, I think will drive the adoption of NFTs into the mainstream. So, so I might as well go look for music NFTs, and it was available. I purchased it, and I built actively building an entire company and a project around it.
Wow, we should definitely talk. I am very So I got into music NFTs as an accident, like October, like in October and in November. And I got involved in this project with someone else. So, make a long story short, we're not involved anymore. But I used to throw raves for a living back in the early '90s. So it kind of like listening to the NFTs and the people, and kind of remind me of like my Generation X self back in the in the early 90s. So I just really fell in love with the musician, the music, the tokens, and how they want to, every single musician that I've spoken to created their music, but they were all from Web 2 and then get into Web 3. So just watching all this go on, and I've been sitting in NFT spaces since February of last year. So just to watch all this stuff. So I fell in love. I fell in love with the music. I fell in love with the community, and yeah, we should definitely talk. Like I have the NFT music concert that Twitter for some unknown reason thinks I should be a bot, but I'm not. I have to fight with them about that. But I have NFT music radio. So what I do is I do pretty much interview the artists. They talk about their project, and then we raise awareness about it, and then I live stream it and create a lot of fun stuff. But I'm also I buy a lot of domains. I'm getting ready to get into the Web3, the blockchain domains, but I buy a lot of. I just sit around and buy domains. I just think like, oh my god, I'm gonna buy this and I'm gonna buy that, and so I've learned so much. And then now I build websites too, and it's kind of a lot of fun. So yeah, I'd love to get to know you better. I know we
Oh
follow
yeah,
each
yeah.
other.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like specifically if you're into buying domains, that's why it's very important to take notice on what Handshake is doing. Instead of you buying like a .com, so let's say you did Tanya.com, right? That's the domain that you buy. With Handshake, they allow you to buy the top level domain, which is the .com. So with you owning the .com, like in my case, .music NFTs, when people sign up, you can actually be the one to sell all of those domains. So I can sell you Tanya.music NFTs, Beyonce.music NFTs, Missy Elliott.music NFTs. I'm the one that's actually selling that top level. To jump in a little bit more to learn about what they're doing, if you do a search for unstoppable domains
I have an
versus
account on there. I actually was one of I actually joined them in the early days when they first launched.
there's a
They have like
court
dot
case.
tez dot
Yeah,
they got dot everything like
yeah,
for
right.
crypto.
Yeah, there's a court case that was just filed by Unstoppable Domains for Dot Wallet, because Unstoppable Domains start selling the Dot Wallet extensions, but Dot Wallet was originally created on Handshake as a TLD. So that's a lawsuit that just got filed. Uh, Definitely follow that because that's going to be a definer on who has rights to actually sell top level domains. Yeah, it's going to be very interesting. So definitely jump in on that. It's very interesting.
Yeah, the thing is the only yeah, I never knew about Handshake because there's an app that all the university use is called Handshake. The reason I know about it is because how I get my interns from the university. So as I have a communication company, so I had to like set up an account, and it's called Handshake. So when you said Handshake, I was like, oh, I wonder. But this is really cool. I looked him up on howtogeek.com, and they were talking about that. Yeah, I didn't even realize. And I'm usually up, on par on this. But thank you for sharing this. This is cool.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, this is the probably, well, this is my opinion. This is the next migration from the .eth from the ENS domains. This is the next one to go off because you can actually it's unlimited how many TLDs or dot music NFTs I can sell or gift or whatever I choose. It's being that I own it, I can do what I want with it. So yeah, glad I can expose you to some alpha.
Music. I
I
have a
love.
question for you. Just a second, Tonya. In what will be the main difference with the internet, with the old dinosaur-like internet, like 25 years ago, where the first, because that was the first thing. I was a webmaster for the first television station in my country, like 25 years ago, something like that. Benevision.com. That's the TV station. Kerry, have you heard about the Miss Venezuela beauty contest? And a lot of Venezuelan women that had won that contest, Miss Universe, Miss World, and stuff. So that's the TV station with the rights for the Miss Venezuela contest. And when we started, someone stole, I mean, did register through the internet. The name of the station was Benevision, and Benevision.com was registered with someone, anyone, any person, and he was blackmailing us and asking us for an absurd amount of money to use the .com. So we had to settle for the .net, Benevision.net for a while. But then he started to pressure us, and you know what he did? He created a pornographic site, a porno site called Benevision.com. So when people in my country got into the station, which is a family station, it's just like NBC. Imagine NBC in your country, or a CBS or whatever. And imagine entering into NBC.com and finding a Korean porno. It was horrible. So obviously the lawyers of the TV station needed to talk to they went to the United States. They actually trying to talk personally with people from the internet at the thing where the things were fixed. And that started a transformation inside the internet in the sense of this, hey, you cannot register Chevrolet for you. Come on, Chevrolet or Ford Motor Company. I mean, even if you came first. I mean, there is obviously Pepsi Cola, Coca Cola. There was a guy in Ecuador, in South America, who did register Ecuador in his country, of course. That lasts only a few weeks until they gave the name to the real Coca Cola. So my question is, what's the difference between are they using through handshake some blockchain-like mechanism?
They are. Handshake is actually built on Bitcoin. Now,
Oh, wow.
the specific situation that you're speaking about, where somebody was domain squatting, there's an association that's called ICANN, which manages and controls, .com, .net. They're the people that issue it. In your situation, probably if you went to ICANN and reported, like, hey, somebody's using, your website to be malicious or something like that, that's a governing body that has the authority to take that site down and then like even give it to you. So if you ever run
But
into
listen,
a
listen, music. We are talking 1996. This is a
yeah,
story I'm telling
yeah,
you, very, very
yeah,
early.
yeah,
And
that's
that existed already in that time, in that era?
correct. ICANN
Oh,
is
I didn't know about them.
yeah, ICANN is the group that issued.com. Like, I think it was Verizon that owns .com, or Verisign
No,
that owns.
all the no. I think that they decided .edu, .org, .tv, is like there, because now there is it's not only .com. You have a myriad of .x things that you can register and have dominions with these terminals. Besides
Right.
education, government, television, I think there are more than 100 now of these Dominion terminal parts.
Yeah, yeah, and see, but see, here's the thing with the handshake being that they're more decentralized, it's more of a namer community. Um, that there won't be any governing body, like if somebody took the name or something like that, because it's set to be decentralized. In some ways, it's centralized right now because of people controlling it. Like if you was to buy a domain, of course, if it's in your wallet, it's centralized because you're the one person that has it. But they are moving towards decentralization where you can be the owner and still receive the sales from the whatever you would purchase. But whoever sets up that SLD, which is the 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 word in front of the dot, they can set that up as a
Mm-hmm.
decentralized site. So it's a very interesting and unique project. I mean, I'm still learning about it myself. Like every day, I'm still learning something new about it. But I like to share the message because I think in the future, these type of sites will thrive.
Yeah,
Okay,
my friend founded he started dot club. He works for them. .club. And I remember when they first started, it was just not too many we got into it. Then now it's crazy. And then I bought into .spaces. .space. So we have NFTs for a cause. .space is our domain. I really like it too. So I love the fact that you're doing music NFTs. That's like going to be so badass.
Yeah, yeah, well,
Yes,
I'm starting. I'm starting with
exactly.
that. I'm starting with dot music NFTs because like a lot of the people that I meet and listen to in spaces and things like that. Um, they're in the spaces because they want to learn about music NFTs. Now, when it comes to NFTs and things, yeah, I think I got that down packed. But when people come into the space, they're generally uneducated on where to go and how to mint a song. And there's a lot of things that's coming out specifically when it comes to like streaming music. They have listen to earn as to where you can, if you're a person that's listening to a song, you can actually earn money by listening to it instead of paying for a subscription. Like there's all kind of wild things that's coming out, and I was blessed enough to be around to like see this stuff develop and like even chat with some of the folks that's developing it, and it's truly amazing. So that, like I said, that's why I made the decision to forge forward with dot music NFTs, because I think a lot more people will get exposed to NFTs through music instead of through art.
It's
Is
true.
Handshake an American software? Because, for example, I know that Telegram was created by two Russian young people, actually officially, but they are totally against Putin and all this stuff. I mean, they actually escaped Russia and stuff, but they are originally from Russia, and they are precisely because they have lived all the things that happens inside Russia. That's why they have been making Telegram what it is, just like this giant capability of gigas. I mean, you can make attachments that you can carry like 14 or 50 movies in one single attachment. I mean, that's unbelievable in WhatsApp or any other platform. So in this case, Handshake is American made, is American created.
That I can't answer. I don't know for sure, but I do know that a lot of the students, they go to MIT. They recruit like program developers on there. There's a lot of people that's on GitHub that contributes. It's not really necessarily one person that's in control. It's like a community effort, and they're all
Okay,
building on
that's
that.
very important. That's very important.
Yeah,
You
I'm
know
on
that.
Namecheap right now, and I'm looking at this. You got me like all excited here.
Yeah, yeah.
Like
Right,
I'm
right
obsessed.
now is a solid opportunity. Like it's, I mean, like a lot of these domains. I wish I would have paid that for what I what I got, but like how the process works is that let's say you find a name that nobody has yet. How it works is that you start an auction. So if let's just say Dot Tanya was available, right? You would start the auction. You could start it at the minimum bid, or you can put it in for like $1, $2, and it goes to auction for 5 days. And how they make it fair to everybody is through that auction. So,
Oh,
um,
that's good.
yeah, so whoever has the highest bid at the end wins. There's some quirks to it because the bids have to be registered on the blockchain because that's how they verify ownership. After the
Okay.
bid ends, it takes another. It's usually like 5 days to cycle onto the blockchain, and once it's registered, they make sure like nothing funky went on, or something crazy. And then after that period, then the name gets issued into your wallet, and then from there, you can. There's a couple of places where you can stake the name as to where you can make it available for people to purchase. But like I said, the thing that happened with Dot Wallet, which is it's gateway.io, which happened today. That whole little thing with unstoppable domains, it kind of put that registry on hold. But Namebase itself, they also do where you can stake the name and you can host it through them. I haven't personally staked any names anywhere yet because I still want to see where everything develops. Because as far as like, if I take on customers or, I start issuing out dot music NFTs, I want to make sure that I'm in a place that can help what I'm trying to do grow. And it's the best option for everybody. So I haven't personally done that yet. Like I said, I'm just sitting back and still learning more because, like I said, I'm still in the learning phase myself. And once I get a little bit more information and I feel confident in a partnership with a registrar, then I'll pull the trigger and you know.
Let me tell you. So let me tell you something. Music. I have a plan. Can you hear me well? Because I'm hearing my echo and it's horrible.
He has just got to mute his mic. It's like music NFTs. If you can just mute your mic for a second. There we go. Go ahead, Carlos. We're so
Okay.
excited. We're talking.
No,
Go ahead,
I'm
Carlos.
I have a plan. I'm gonna get into handshake. I'm gonna see. My name is Carlos Sicilia. Okay. So what I'm gonna do, this is my plan, is try to create a new domain, and I want to be Carlos Sicilia dot and
Hey, hey, yeah,
the
don't say it out.
no,
Don't
no,
say
no,
it
no.
out.
I
Yeah.
want to say no, no, no. Just kidding, because the domain I want to use is just like a Carlos Cecilia dot George Clooney look alikes. Okay, and I will be. I want. I don't know if that work. Okay, but I will try it anyway. Just like a Carlos Cecilia dot George Clooney look alikes, and I will be the master of my domain, like Seinfeld.
That's cool. Now, keep this in mind too. Like the they also take emojis as well. So if you have any emoji combinations,
Oh
because
wow!
essentially the single emoji, those are already bought up. That's usually like first day. Those things are done. But you can do emoji combinations. So you can do a combination of one, I mean, two, three, four, five. And you can actually purchase those as well. And also, too, another thing when it comes to visiting the website, Handshake right now does not work in like your standard browsers. There's a
Yeah,
browser right now. It's called
yeah,
Impervious.
uh-huh.
Uh, if you have the Impervious browser, you can browse Handshake sites, or if the person that has the site resolves it through another party, you can view it. Like if you go to my Twitter page, right in the description, it has visit hns.to well, HNS music NFTs dot HNS dot is. If you click on that link, it'll take you to my handshake site, but you have to click that link first to resolve it because browsers don't know what it is yet.
Okay.
It's blockchain web browsing, like it's totally new. The one company that is building on it is the Opera browser. Opera browser has came out and say, "Hey, we're going to support this. Just pay for the development, and we'll see where it goes." So right now, Opera is on board for that. Now,
Oh wow.
when Opera gets this thing completed, will like the likes of Google and Mozilla Firefox or everybody else jump in? Maybe, but right now, that's what it is.
Oh, do you know the new translator called DeepL? I'm using it every day since 2 weeks ago. It's wonderfully. I mean, I think that Google Translate has a serious competition to confront. It's DeepL. It's DEEPL. Okay, DeepL. That's the name of the app, and you also can get into deepl.com. And let me tell you why, because I am bilingual. By the way, I'm starting next week. I will be starting a site. I want to interview alternating English and Spanish every week, the best hosts of Twitter Spaces. I will start in Spanish, then I will go in. No, I will start In Spanish, yes, exactly, with Graciela Moore. And then I have a roast or a list of people. But the thing is that DeepL gives you which is something that Google Translate does not do. You know that with Google Translate, the main problem is like if you are talking about aviation and the paragraph you get into and you feed Google Translate with, if they don't get that you are talking about translation, they will talk like Tarzan of the apes because they will go for wherever. But this DeepL gives you 2 or 3 options, so you can choose what is the context you are translating into, and then you can go with a fast copy, choose the best one, so you don't have to rewrite or readapt. Please try it and you will become an instant believer. It's deep. D has in Denver, E has in Elon, E has in Elon, P has in Peter, and L has in London. DeepL, deepl.com. I tell you, this is going to be a revolution, and one of two. If they are going to do a big harm to Google Translate, or Google will be buying, Alphabet will be buying that before Christmas. You can take my words and you can keep my words here and jot them down. I bet that Alphabet will be buying a DeepL because it's so superior to Google Translate. You just cannot figure how totally is perfect. Forget about the Tarzan-like things, just like the crummy translations and the stuff. It's neat, it's clear, it's like having artificial intelligence at its best because it really feels like a living human.
I just pulled it up. I'm gonna save it so I can look at and use it. I love
Yeah,
that.
yeah, I saved it too. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
But especially for Twitter Spaces, we have people from all over the world, and sometimes some people feel very uncomfortable speaking, because of their language, and so I think I was in at NFTs for Freedom Space, and he was using Google Translator, and I was in awe. I just never dawned on me to start using that, but utilizing this is good. I can't wait to try it out. Thanks, Carlos. We're all like teaching you, like giving us so much. They call it gems.
No,
Yeah,
that's
I just
a friend told me. I tried that very night, and I am just like, oh my goodness, this is so. I mean, I will tell you without exaggeration. I think that the level of quality of DeepL in this moment is at least 8 times better than Google Translate. 8 times being conservative, I mean, I don't want to exaggerate. You can test it by yourselves this night tonight, and you will see what I'm telling is true. It's totally elegant, it's simplistic, it's still more minimalistic than the Google main page. I mean, it's totally simple. Wow, it has a nice gray color. It's beautiful. It's incredible. It's a dream come true for translating.
They have an app, or is it? Am I seeing this right?
Yes, yes,
Deepl.com. Yeah, I'm following them now. I'm gonna download the app.
yes. They
They're from
they they
Germany.
they have an app. I don't know where they are from, but it's good.
They're
It's
on
from
Twitter. They're
Germany.
from Germany.
Oh wow, they are doing a great
Yeah, it's
job.
called DeepL.com. Com.
Okay, okay.
And they
Let me.
joined 2018, so they're new, but they like really developed this. It's available in Japan. I know that it's available in Vietnamese because I just looked it up.
yeah, and I just translated the tweet about Julio Iglesias to not send any memes to you in the month of July and August. So it did it perfectly.
My pinned tweet. You went from, oh no, my goodness. That was a nightmare because Julio Iglesias is a Spanish singer, and his name is the same name of the month in Spanish, July. His name is Julio. Julio is just like July in English. So people start making hundreds of thousands of memes. Last year was totally unbelievable. I mean, I couldn't stand it. And I said, okay, I won't go for this another year. Anyone who dares to mention Julio Iglesias in my site will be blocked. You know how many people I have blocked in Twitter? You won't believe this. I have 32,000 people blocked. And I can show you the number through my Apple iPhone 6. And you know what I got? I got an insider's information, and there is another. I don't remember which was the source, which says that the record is 35,000 from a guy in Turkey. Okay, and I am at 32,000. So I really would like to get that record. But you know what I do block the people? I do block them where they say silly things or they insult or whatever, because you know what happened? If I block you, I cannot protect. I mean, you can watch what I say in Twitter because you just need to enter from an account from a friend or whatever, and you will see what I'm telling. So I don't block you so you cannot read me. No, I block you so I won't read you ever again. You know what I mean? If you were silly for me or you were bothersome for me once, I said, oh no, I don't have to go through this again. Bye bye, boy. And you're out, and I don't care. And one friend, a designer, told me, Carlos, I have been fighting like 10 years for getting to 25,000 followers, and you have 32,000 blocked. I feel so bad because I have like 100 something, 100,006 or whatever. But remember something, if you read my bio, remember, I have been on the media in Venezuela for 42 years. So remember the people, when we came from television and this old media always have a certain kind of a cult following or whatever that made it is easier for us to get these high numbers. Okay, so this is not that I got it alone from Twitter. It's people like, oh, Carlos Cecilia, see, is it like getting, for example, let's see, I don't know if David Letterman has Twitter. I guess he doesn't have, and he's not tweeting at all. But imagine the news. Oh, David Letterman opened a Twitter account. I mean, he will be getting 2 millions in 2 hours, because he has that kind of magnetic attraction for the people. So that's somehow what happened in a smaller proportion in my country, because I am in South America. Of course, Venezuela is not the United States. We have a smaller show business population, and well, that's it. But it's respectable in terms of Twitter Spaces. It's okay. Sounds good. Sounds like it's important, but it's not important. And remember, half of that number is bots and dead accounts and people that wrote once 7 years ago, and you see that their last tweet was written in 2003 or something like that. So I don't place much value to the numbers either. Okay, so it's okay. Oh, many people tell me you have more than 100, and say, that's not true. I really, really, really must have like 4,000, 40,000 or 50,000, no more than that. I don't know. Okay. I was.
Well, I'm like using the notes. So I can like kind of like, so I can go back and look at my notes and stuff because I'm trying to use other tools. So I tweeted it out. But yeah, dbl.com. Oh my gosh, that's exciting. And namesake domains. I'm definitely going to look at, because I have two places right now. I have GoDaddy and I have Google for all my domains. But I've been wanting to look into. I was gonna, I set up a unstoppable domain, but I just, for some reason, I just didn't want to do it right away. I don't know why, but I'm so glad that you came in, because now I know to take a look at namesake domains.
Oh yes, without a doubt. Yeah, that's I think and pay attention to the news. There's a lot of uh, people that are around the handshake community. So like if you go to a handshake, which is the HNS, they have the namer community. Like pretty much all the people that follow them, I will go down that list too and see who you resonate with. And yeah, just just stay familiar with the news that's going on around it, because this is one of those projects, like when people catch on and understand exactly what it is, like in my opinion, this could definitely well be bigger than ENS domains and Unstoppable combined. So yeah.
That's exciting, especially now, and especially for you, doing music. Because telling you, music NFTs, it's like incredible. I see so many people getting into this, and it's the opportunity, and because I joined voice.com. That's a different. That's another blockchain. To post some of my content on there. Have
Yes,
you heard
yes,
of them?
I have. Yes, yes.
What do you think of them? I know a lot of the space hosts is using them for their content.
Yeah, I mean, anything that makes it easier for somebody to come into the space, like voice doc, they they allow people that don't know a lot about navigating through OpenSea, writing smart contracts, and all that stuff. It gives them a place to go where they can just upload their music, put it out there as an NFT, and like those things are needed, because I mean right now when you're dealing with creating NFTs and writing your smart contracts the right way and making sure that it doesn't have malicious code in it and all that stuff, like for music creators, that's not going to be their focus. Their focus is going to be putting out music. So having platforms like that takes care of that for them, I think that's always a good thing.
Yeah, that's a big problem. A lot of people, even NFT artists, that trying to understand the smart contract and how it's done and getting, because then a lot of people get so excited about being part of something, they jump on board and they put a lot of time and money and sitting in spaces for hours, and then all of a sudden, the contract that they think that they're a part of, they're not even part of. It's real. NFTs is kind of I love the whole thing, but it's very shady if you don't know what you're doing.
Indeed, totally agree.
One of my space that I pop in as a co-host, Louis, he was part of this his first music NFT project. It's and he joined it. I remember him talking about it. He was all excited about it, and then they disappeared. The founders disappeared. They didn't even post it, didn't do anything. And so he posted on Twitter saying that he think he got rugged and all this stuff. So I researched the people, and it's crazy. The two, there was 3 stories written about them. 2 of the website that was written on is gone. The third one, that post is no longer there. So it's really scary. I mean, you can put a lot of money, you do stuff, and you turn around and not get it right. Oh, my friend Bryce is here. Hi, Bryce.
Yeah, to speak on that too, are you familiar with like the streaming platform, like from the Hume Collective? They have the Meta Boombox. They have Gala Music. Are you familiar with those at all too?
Oh no, you have to tell me about them.
Uh, I would say Gala Music probably is going to be the most noticeable. I guarantee you probably heard of them, but you won't know it until I bring it up to you. It's Snoop Dogg when he bought Death
Oh,
Row
I
Records.
do. I do know about that.
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah, you're right. Because I know he did something. Okay.
yeah,
It's music.gala.world is the.
that's correct.
Yeah.
So, what they're going to be is a right now is a listen to earn platform, as to where how they have all these play to earn games coming out. You play the game, you earn crypto and all this other stuff. Well, on Gala Music, it's going to be a listen to earn. So you're going to put on some headphones, you're going to listen to music, and you're going to get paid to do it. Right?
Oh, I like
Wow.
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. So now the flip part about that is uh, Gala, right now they've stopped selling the nodes. So if you're a node holder, um, what you can do is put music NFTs on your node, and if the song streams from your node, you're gonna get paid every time that song streams from your particular node.
Wow.
And that's in perpetuity. That's for perpetuity. So, example, Snoop Dogg is trying to get all the old songs from the Death Row Records catalog, the ones that's on Spotify. That's why he pulled the songs that he could off of Spotify off, because now all those songs are going to go to Gala, right? And what he's going to do is sell it, and well, he's already done it, but for the old school songs, he's going to sell music NFTs for those old songs. He's going to charge whatever he's going to charge for it. They're going to make their money up front on those music NFT sales. But then for Gala node holders who host it on their node and play it, the artist, which would be Snoop, will make a streaming credit for that, and you as the NFT holder, you're gonna make that money too. So it's like you having a music CD and giving it to a radio station and say like, hey, I want a percentage of every time this plays. That's exactly exactly what's about to happen. Um, but yeah, that's and being that Snoop Dogg's face is on it, it's going to get even more traction. Like right now, Snoop formed a group, uh, Mount Westmore. Right now, he has E40, Ice Cube, and Too Short. They formed a group together and dropped some NFTs. And those NFTs will only be streamed on Gala Music. So guess where you have to go if you want to listen to that music? You have to go there. And if people start listening to it, then guess what? You're going to get paid for people listening. And if you listen, you're going to get paid. Like it's crazy. Um, the Meta Boombox project. Actually, I just made a post today. I got a music NFT from this very good artist. And any music NFT that you have in your wallet, you can create your own radio station and stream it. And
What you have been describing until now sounds like royalties
Music, can you
3.0.
mute your mic?
Yeah, yeah. Turn your mic. Okay. What I say is that what you have been explaining till now sounds to me like royalties 3.0 because this is like the old classic royalties. I am an ASCAP member, for example, and I write songs. I have been writing songs from Venezuelan television and stuff. But by the way, do you know or where can get in contact with people who need they are needing lyrics for songs? I can write in almost because I spent many years working in a comedy show SNL like, and we were making musical parodies of almost every kind of style, from Frank Sinatra to whatever. So I really would like to retake that job a little bit. So do you know, or maybe through DM, or I can DM you with more details and my mail and stuff, that you could help me and I can give you a commission, whatever, if you get me with some people that maybe they can test me and I can send, of course, I will pre-register my songs in the ASCAP stuff, and then I will give them to them to see if they are useful for them. Simon is here finally. Simon, you're already on blog. We're friends. Okay, I'm following you.
Okay,
So
yeah,
what?
yeah, definitely send a DM. That's how I've been moved. Before I even like said something in this space, I've been navigating this space for like a year and a half before I even started my own project, because during a year and a half ago is when everybody was getting into the space, and I knew like
Exactly.
if I told everybody what I had planned, then everybody would be my friend. Right. So
Exactly.
I wanted to meet people as a regular person learning the space, which coincidentally I was that anyway. So I
Right.
met a lot of real genuine people that, you know, that gave me information and guided me in the right way. And like I think I have a pretty rock solid group around me.
Okay.
And like
Good.
I'm all about helping. So yeah, so it's like commission and all that stuff. Like, look, you get your thing going. If you want to kick me down something, and later on you can, but I'm not looking for that, you know. So
No,
yeah,
no, no.
definitely think
I tell you because I mean that's the usual in all over the world in the music world. Sometimes that's the way to go, and it's not mandatory, but you can choose to take it or not. But what I mean is, what I really would like to is to write again because I have just like a giant gap of 15 years without writing songs. I wrote songs even for a children's program which was aired through the Univision Spanish station, Univision, for 3 years in the mornings of Saturday and Sundays in the time slot of kids. And I have been, I'm now reencountering myself with that part of me. It's just like you forgot playing bicycle and riding the mountains, and then you say, "Hey, look at the bicycle! It's here. I'm going to skateboard again." For example, I am 61 years old, and I do in a skate. I love to skate in a skate skater. I have a Highway 7 from rollerblade, and it's my passion. I mean, now I cannot do it because I'm waiting to get an hernia operation. Of course, my rollerblades are totally forbidden, and they are in a closet until I get my surgery. But you know what I mean? It's just like a reencountering with an old me, the old composer, because I really do love words, and I do love mixing words with music, and I've been also a consultant, and sometimes in a commercial you have a jingle which is only 20 seconds, and I have been all my life just like receiving phone calls from studios where they are recording and they don't like the lyric, and they say, "Carlos, sorry to wake you up. What do you think of this? How can we fix with this lyric for this supermarket thing?" And said, "Oh, okay, I'm sleeping. Well, okay, repeat that me again. Okay, put that thing and think, oh, that's great. Okay, we'll pay you tomorrow." That doesn't mean just like a fireman kind of work, 24 hours. I mean, whenever they are recording and stuff. So I really, really have a lot of experience, and I started in radio 1980, okay? That's 42 years ago. And in that radio show, I already started writing music. So if you want to be my manager, welcome. Go ahead.
Yeah, just shoot me a DM. I see what
Yeah. Well, I
see
will
we can
contact you
hook
for
up.
sure. Yo, go ahead.
So,
Oh, we're
so
close. We're
yeah,
close
it's
to the ending.
7:54, and we didn't get a chance to talk about your project, Carlos. And we had a guest tonight, but she is in. Oh my God, she's like 9 hours ahead of us. It would be like 4 a.m. So that's why we're doing what we're doing. And it was nice because I was able to. I use Diacon to run analytics, so I have like data. Like I have a lot of data. So I just spent all afternoon downloaded all of the data for NFTs for a cause, so I can put it all into a database to all the and then I have like I got tons of data from music NFT artists. I got tons. So we should do a space together on music NFT radio, and then we can invite these artists, music NFTs, and then we can like do a space about this what we're talking about. So it kind of worked out great that you popped in, and I got to know you better.
Yes, you were a blessing for us today, and thank you for the handshake tip. I mean, incredible information. That's very important.
My pleasure.
I think that's gonna change things. So do we give? I mean, we have still 7 minutes. Let's give a mic to Simon.
No,
If
I
you
did.
can
I
do
don't
it.
know why he hasn't. I gave it to him, and I want to say hi to Bryce. Bryce is hosting his space too on Saturday. That I keep missing. That I need to pop in because I sat on a Joe Rogan space. I mean a podcast. I'm a little bit. I've been listening to all his podcasts. So Bryce has been doing a space about that. Not about Joe Rogan, but about this philosopher. But hi, Simon. How's it going?
Hey guys, good to be here. Good to see Carlos and Tony and music and right, right.
Barbecue,
Yes, sir.
barbecue.
Yeah, yes, sir. Yeah. Hello. Yeah, I'm
Hey,
mhm.
good to, I think I missed.
Go ahead.
I saw a tweet that you put out about Deep L. So I obviously missed that part of the conversation. I was just wondering if anybody has actually used it and what they thought of it.
I put
Carlos is the
I
one that told us.
I
I have been using it in a row for 3 weeks, and it's heaven. It's heaven. I think that Google Translate got serious competition. DeepL is wonderful. It's intelligent. It's like a human translating for you. It's wonderful. And they give you 3 or 4 options to choose according to the context you are working in. So it's wonderful. Google Translate don't do that. They just give you one version and you take it or leave it. But DeepL gives you 2 or 3, and as soon as you touch one of them, it goes up and then you copy it with the small copy icon. But the quality of the translation is just like 8 times more than Google Translate. Just test it for yourself.
Yeah,
DeepL.com or DeepL the app.
yeah. Thanks very much for bringing that to my attention, because I will definitely check that out, because on their own site they make some good claims about how much better it is, obviously with their magical AI, how much better it is than some of the other platforms that are out there. I think are they German? Do you know, Carlos? Are they a German
Yeah,
No,
they're
company?
yeah,
German.
I didn't know, but Tonya updated about that right tonight in the show. I didn't know.
All right. Well, listen, thanks very much for giving me the details there. And I will certainly check that out. It sounds intriguing. So thanks.
Yes, and the all these things that I have been announcing in the last. If you check my Twitter account, everything, all the translations back and forth between Spanish and English have been made in DeepL. I mean, I have been unfaithful to Google Translate more than 3 weeks. Okay, so I had a long relationship, but I feel like I got a divorce. And I say, hey, Google Translate, no, I don't. I'm very happy with DeepL now. Don't call me back. You are now my ex. Okay.
Yeah, that's great. It's interesting because I often hit the translate this tweet button, and of course it's a Google Translate option. But if you've been using your sort of DeepL experience and posting stuff natively, I'll take a look at those too. So it's
No, and remember, Simon, my native tongue is Spanish. I did learn English using Mad Magazine and then watching VHS tapes that my friends brought from the States down here to South America. So I can tell you that the quality of the translation, the feeling of the real Spanish, if you have a big client and he's Spanish speaking and you need a very good translation, go for DeepL. I mean, they are translating exactly like we actually do speak. Compared to that, Google Translate is like Tarzan, I Tarzan to you Jane. It's just like very Tarzanistic.
yeah,
It's a
it,
so DeepL is a how was the quote by Neil Armstrong? A little step for a man, a giant a giant leap for humankind.
all right. I'm sold. I shall definitely take a look. It sounds like the AI is applying a little bit of transcreation or a little bit of cultural nuance, maybe. So I will definitely check that out.
Yeah, or how do you call the GPT-4 or something? I think they are having a big help from artificial intelligence because it's very fast. It's incredible how they can build such long paragraphs with such a poetic sense. The rhythm is the correct. I mean, it sounds like written by an actual Spanish-speaking human being. You can take my word for it. You won't be disappointed. You won't be disappointed. Sorry, you will write back to me and say, "Hey, you were totally right that Sunday." Remember these words.
I will definitely remember. I will certainly check that out. Thanks a lot, Carlos.
Yeah,
I'm gonna check it out too. So Bryce, how are you? I can't believe you're actually hosting your own space.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I took the dive. Yeah, it works well. I mean, yeah, I was actually hunting you down. You've been a rare. You're like a endangered species. I don't see you out there much anymore. So I was just happy to see you in the space. I think she's too busy doing business. Tanya's so good at. She's in a lot. Used to be in a lot of our just social spaces, hanging out and stuff. But she's been a little scarce. So I was following you in to give you a little trouble. Yeah, we miss you.
You're
We
so
miss you.
cute.
We miss
No,
you.
I miss you guys too. Actually, I fell and I hurt my knee, and then I had to like replace
Oh,
my whole system because
okay.
there was a whole bug in Chrome. So and then I had a bug in my. Oh my god! I had a bug in all my computers. It seemed like so. Now I have a whole brand new system, and I had to like
Oh,
rewire.
good.
You know how it is. You got to rewire
Yeah.
everything and make sure it works. So
So were you off of Spaces just in general, like a lot less? You're just doing less of that stuff. I thought I saw you doing some business stuff every once in a while, but
no, I've been doing a lot of business stuff. I just been just having one client after. I have a lot of projects going on, like a lot.
that's no excuse. No
No
excuse. You got
excuse.
Work shouldn't get in the way of your playtime. Remember, don't play work. All work and no play makes a dull Tanya. So don't. You
Well,
know.
every time I jump into a like Alberto and I'm thinking I'm gonna be able to talk and say hi, the phone would ring. Like they know. I'm like they
Yeah.
literally know that I'm in his space. They're like, "Oh, get out of there! It's time to work."
Yeah. Not only do I do my just based on stoicism, right? Every week, that's gone well. I mean, I had I get about 50 people in there, and I did one yesterday. It had a little less, it had 40, but it has 100 and some replays already. So and that's in like
Wow.
24 hours. But the big news, and I think you know this, is I'm on the radio now.
No,
Wow.
congratulations.
Yeah, well, it's Ariel, myself, and Asya hooked up with a producer. We met on Spaces, and so we have an overnight. We co-host an overnight show that airs in Connecticut and part of New York, like Long Island, like once a week.
That's great. Are you guys talking a lot of politics, or what are you guys
Just
talking about?
well, I mean, well, the premise, premise was just kind of the name of the show is called Radio Uninvited, and so the uninvited people are those are kind of people in the middle, because we're always talking on Spaces about polarized things. It could be politics, it could be just the world views, whatever. There's a lot of spaces about that. So we're kind of like most of us are in the middle. Most of us want to compromise. Most of us are friendly with their neighbors. We're not so at each other's throats, and so we're trying to get that message out. So that's kind of the backbone of the show. And we're stealing parts of Twitter Spaces and using so I go into rooms, I capture some audio here and there, and we look for kind of topics that are in the news currently, and then we find maybe a space that has to go with that and play little clips, and then we comment about it, stuff like that. So it's been it's still
Anything with the vaccine stuff happening because there's a lot
no, we
going
haven't
on.
nothing too controversial so far, but it's still developing. We've done 4 shows, and we're working with Bob Johnson is the producer at WPKN. It's an independent radio station in Bridgeport, but it's pretty popular. It has a coverage of 16 million people in the local area, and then of course
Wow. Wow.
so it streams out to the internet, of course. But yeah, it's pretty cool. So I mean, I DM'd you. Maybe you missed it, Tanya, but. Yeah, we're going to do interviews with people, people from Spaces. We're trying to really pump Twitter Spaces into the terrestrial radio market, So the producer doesn't think anybody's really been doing too much of that social audio that people can listen to on the radio, because there's a lot of people who aren't on Twitter. There's a lot of people who don't do social audio, but they do still listen to terrestrial radio. And we can highlight that and say, hey, there's conversations happening out in the world between you and your neighbors and people all over the world simultaneously. Maybe you want to check this out, and so we're doing stuff like that. But
Congrats! That's awesome. Good for
yeah,
you.
but we want to eventually probably interview you as one of our guests at some point in time. We want to really take care of the Twitter Spaces community. So we have a short list of people. Like we played a couple of clips from one of Dr. M's AI Spaces,
Yeah,
weeks.
exactly.
Yeah, a couple weeks ago, and then we commented on that. So we had like a 40-minute discussion on AI, and they mix in some music and some other stuff. It's like I said, it's still developing. It's not quite where we want it to be, but it's been pretty fun.
I love that. Congrats. No, again,
Yeah,
I love that. I think that's great. Yeah,
yeah.
I mean, I don't know when I would be available, but I'd love that. I'm actually like
Well,
I'm in
maybe
the middle of
sometime.
like reorganizing my
Nah,
company.
yeah, not today, not today. It'd be some other time. We could even get you in a space and do a little thing, just 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and then talk about you and stuff like that in the future. It doesn't, can be pre-recorded, all that stuff. Not now, but yeah, we want to take care of our spaces people like Alberto and yourself and others that have compelling stories. So that's on our mind.
Simon was raising his hand. What do you
Yeah,
wanted to
Simon, do you
say,
want to
Simon?
share?
Yeah, I was just going to say, I think that's fascinating because I was only talking to somebody recently about the adoption rates on social audio, and I think it's running at somewhere between 1% and 3%, depending on the platform. And even though there's this sort of core cohort of, Spaces hosts or, people experimenting with LinkedIn Live audio or the old Clubhouse communities. And I just think it's interesting what you're saying in terms of using sort of traditional media
Uh huh.
to talk to the community about, hey, you're missing out on the conversation. The other
Yeah.
thing I wanted to just add was um, I have seen it work pretty well for like events or activities where they say, hey, after this finishes, we're going to jump on a space. And I've seen that working pretty well. But it is like an open ended question about how do we engage more people to just try spaces, or is it just, we're just early on the bell curve? But I really appreciate what you said there in terms of using traditional media.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, it's something we thought about, and it does make sense. I mean, there's so much of America that isn't on Twitter, and then there's a number of most people on Twitter aren't on Twitter Spaces, right? So it's like but there are a lot of good. There's a lot of good content, a lot of good conversation, a lot of professional people. There's some BS out there and fun and just nonsense, but there's I think there's interest. I mean, I've loved Twitter Spaces. That was my introduction to social audio. I didn't use Clubhouse. I do use Discord now for some stuff a little bit, but it's that landscape. I mean, Twitter Spaces was my first introduction to it, and I found people like Tanya and a whole 20, 30 other like really key people. And I mean, geez, I'm on the radio now just because I've been on Twitter Spaces bumping around for a year and just ran into the right people at the right time and things like that. So there's opportunities out there, and the bottom line is there's good conversation out there that a lot of people are missing.
Listen, Barbecue, I have been in the media for 42 years, starting in 1978 in Venezuela, working as a copywriter for a TV station, then doing radio and stuff and stuff. You know what I think that Twitter Spaces is lacking? More order, more organization. In
Uh-huh.
which sense? We had in the old television, you had half an hour shows, 1 hour shows, 1 hour and a half shows, and you had, I mean, to organize somehow a little bit more. That cannot be possible that you enter into space. You should be respectful to the audience, and you can say, okay, my space is 1 hour long. Or maybe you say, this is a open-ended space. That means that you can go 3 hours, or maybe just like, I don't know if you know Tsuayu Molemi. He lives in Canada, but he handles hundreds of followers in South Africa, and they do actually spaces that last 14 hours and nobody leaves. I mean, that's amazing. There is a wonderful guy in South Africa too called the guy with the hat. I forgot his name. Very, very famous, and he's now promoting Jameson whiskey and something. He also had that. He made a space 11 hours and the people didn't move. So what we need is like to organize all that strength, all that communicational strength, and organize it a little bit more. For example, the way of knowing where things are happening in the spaces is still a crap. I don't like it. I mean, they have been trying everything, little purple things on the top, stuff like that. But they still are. And my dramatic and maybe exaggerated solution, you have to separate audio Twitter from the microblogging written Twitter. For me, it was a mistake when Clubhouse appeared and Twitter wanted to do his social audio. I think this should be in two separate universes, and then is when will Twitter. I think it will take 1 year or 2 years, but Twitter Spaces should not be inside Twitter. Written Twitter is one thing, spoken Twitter is another thing. And they can coexist with the same name, it's the same brand, but put them in separate platforms and everything will be easier to handle for engineers, for users, and for everyone. That's my prediction as an old dinosaur of alt TV.
No, I mean, it's interesting. Simon had brought up, are we just on the front end of the curve? I think that's the case because I was hearing at one of the developer spaces, there's some rumors out there, maybe Tanya, she has her ear to the ground on stuff like this, is that they want to make spaces like the spaces now, they don't delete, so you keep them forever. So they want to make it to where you can upload kind of your podcasts into your Twitter profile, into your Spaces profile. So eventually you'll use Twitter and then Twitter Spaces as an audio kind of a staging area, as a platform, kind of like a Spotify or something like that, which I thought was really interesting because they want to keep you you would have Twitter they want to keep you on the site as long as possible, right? They want to keep you on this app as long as possible. So yeah, they want to make it so you can port over audio from other areas and just host it here. So you could have your Twitter Spaces, you could have your podcast, you could stream your music, something like that. Maybe if you're a creator of music, things like that. That's what I heard. That's the rumor.
Yeah, there was the last Spaces they host on Friday.
Hoseline, the Hoseline space, yeah.
No, actually, he spoke about it, but the the developer space that the Twitter people host, I was sitting in it, and they were talking about it, so that they're going to be bringing podcasts on, and you can still listen to people's spaces, but they're going to have a whole library. So.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, the problem I have with it now is just like do you use the Twitter dashboard, the Spaces dashboard, Tanya, at all?
I was one of the first few people that used it, but then. When you hang out with Alberto, you get paranoid about everything. So apparently, like if you give your third-party access to your Twitter page, your Twitter account, they can read everything, they can see everything, they can which I don't have nothing to hide, but I don't know. I was just kind of makes me wonder, can someone come in and start DMing my friends about different things, and so I just removed everything off of it.
No, but I mean, you can go right. I didn't authenticate. I just went to the link. And I could see active spaces. Maybe it's a different flavor, that maybe there's multiple versions of it, but it's just basically it's a web interface, but it gives you all the active spaces, and then you can rank it by number of people. You can sort it by language, how many people are active, that type of thing. There's spaces out there with thousands and thousands of people in any one particular space. And we hosted a space, Ariel, myself, and Asia. We had a special guest in a couple weeks ago, and we had almost 1,000 people in there that night. So,
but let me tell you something. I am amazed. I have people, very, very intelligent friends, university professors, scientists, a lot of people who use a lot the written Twitter, the microblogging Twitter, the old Twitter, the 12-year-old Twitter, and they don't know about Twitter Spaces.
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, I think that Twitter, as a company, they need to understand they are doing a terrible, terrible job in promoting Twitter Spaces, because a lot of people who use Twitter don't know shit about Twitter Spaces.
Yep.
How can that be possible? You need to fix that, and you need to fix that now. I mean, how long are you going to wait? I don't care if Elon Musk, if the owner, or Mickey Mouse, or a resuscitated Ed Sullivan. I don't care who is the owner of Twitter. I think this cannot be happening. How I have friends, a university professor, 10 years in Twitter. He has 80,000 followers. And I asked him, why haven't you made a Twitter space? And he asked me, what's a Twitter space? He didn't know.
No.
He didn't know. And he has been a Twitter user for 10 years. So that tells you how bad has been the advertising and the promotion of Twitter spaces from Twitter outside to the world. It's terrible. Well, a very bad campaign. In advertising, they will be totally, I mean, zero points. I mean, you will have to go back to the university to the square one.
Yeah, I think my feeling is I thought maybe they just tried to make it put it out there as a feature and then see if people really liked it, make it a kind of a grassroots uprising. I don't know if they had a big plan for it or not. I don't know. So that would, if they did, you're right, they advertised it poorly. And I mean, the app has been, I mean, every update there's like something with Spaces works and then it doesn't work. So it's been a little bit buggy too. Maybe that's another thing. They're not comfortable with the stability. But the biggest problem I've had with it is just there's so many conversations that happening out there, but it's hard to find them because you only see the ones in your Spaces bar, if your Spaces bar is working properly, or for people that you follow. It's like I want to find conversations about tech or about entertainment or about history or about, I'm a guy like Stoic philosophy. I want to find philosophy spaces. And it's like I don't have an easy way to scroll through a directory and kind of find any active conversations. You have to kind of do a little bit of this and a little bit of that and a little bit of luck to find
And
these things.
you said something, you said scrolling. Let me tell you, one of the biggest things, the biggest benefits for everybody who enters into a Twitter space is that you are saving your brain for damage because you are stopping scrolling for a while. I mean, there's nothing more dangerous for the human brain that the continuous scrolling in Instagram, in Twitter, whatever. I mean, that is not good. That instant dopamine creation in your brain. I mean, and here you at least it's just like you stop the train, you get off the train and say, I'm gonna be in this station, and instead of watching just like hundreds of figures in landscape in a bullet train in Tokyo. No. Stop. You get off the train of scrolling, and then you have been here for a few minutes, and you have been saving your brain because you had not been scrolling. Maybe some of you maybe are listening and scrolling at the same time, and that's not the most healthy thing to do. But if you get into a space and you stay here with the little circles, checking the hands up, the applause, the smiles and stuff, you are giving your brain a much needed rest, a well-deserved rest, because scrolling is something which bring. I mean, I have two good neurologist friends, and they told me, I mean, scrolling is one of the worst things that have been happening, because the scrolling in excess, not the concept, not the utility. I mean, it's something fun, it's something easy to use, it's something useful. Okay, sometimes, but a lot of people scrolls in excess. Those are the people hurting themselves.
Absolutely, yeah. No, and you find out too. I mean, I was on the tech side of Twitter, until Spaces was made available to me like last June, and I kind of tiptoed into it. So I started using it more and more about this time, maybe July, August of last year. But I was on the tech side of Twitter for the first 5 years I was on Twitter. I've been on Twitter for 6 years, and this is so much better. I mean, it would be, you're right, the advertising campaign I think is poor, or I don't know what their plan was from the onset, but
or simply non-existent. They're
yeah,
depending only of word of mouth only, because I don't see advertising. I don't see just like billboards on the highways in the United States announcing Twitter,
yeah,
or
yeah.
they don't go into the Super Bowl. Or, oh, did you see the wonderful? Wow, what a great TV ad in the Super Bowl for Twitter. Come on, do that in the next Super Bowl. Make a big
They need to
Twitter
save
ad
all
and
their
make.
money because they got into a lawsuit. But it's 8:20, so I want to go ahead and wrap this up. I want to say hi to Michael. I haven't spoken to him either. I feel like I'm having a reunion with all my
Oh
friends
my
here.
goodness!
Hey,
It's
Michael.
8:20. You're right. You're right. You're right. I'm so sorry. You talk too much, Tonya. You are not a
It's so funny
quiet person
now.
like me. I don't like to talk. You know, I am a silent and quiet person. It's your fault, not mine. Go ahead.
No, I love the sound.
Is that your soundboard, Tanya, or is that Carlos doing that?
No, this is Twitter's soundboard.
Oh, okay. Well, I probably don't have that. I'm on Android. We never get the good stuff.
Yeah, they were talking about it on Friday, so I was like, oh, let me see if this actually works. So, but this is kind of cool. So, hi, Michael, how you doing?
Hi, Tanya and everybody. I'm doing good. Hi, Carlos, Bryce, Simon, and everybody else that's on. I'm doing good. How about yourself, Tanya?
I'm good. I took some time off of space to work and catch up.
Oh, that's very good. So I take it you're all caught up with your work and stuff?
Oh no, I have more work. I got like more projects coming on my way. That's why I'm trying to organize, and because I'm hiring people, so I can't hire people unless I have all my stuff organized. So we went out and bought a whole bunch of new computers and systems, and because I had computers from my old interns that I attempted to use, and because it was since 2019, end of 2019, those computers are like, just updating them was a pain. It was horrific actually, and nothing worked. It was horrible, so we just decided to go buy new computers.
What exactly is the job that you're talking about? Because I know you're involved with all different kinds of work.
Oh no, I do social media marketing and digital marketing. So I hire people to create content, but I like to have my own computer. I want my computer to be used when they work with me, because this way it's my content and I can control it. So I usually have a computer for each person that works for me, so that this way, and we're all connected. And so when I talk to them, I like they get my messages and stuff, and because I don't want to have someone that work for me that I have to manage. I want someone that's kind of like, this is what I'm going to do, and I want them to be very like creative, because you can't sit there and tell people what to do and put borders around them and say you need to do it this way.
You like people with initiative,
Initiative and a lot of
self-initiative.
creativity, because if you put borders, people aren't created. They'll copy and paste. But if you give them out, like, this is what I'd like you to do, and come up with something like, this is the time frame, but let me show me what you got. And then once I get comfortable with the person, it doesn't matter. They get paid anyway, because I pay by project. I don't do hourly anymore. I do projects, so it works out for everybody. And don't make a good. The whole idea is to make sure that people who work for me make enough money so that they don't have to go out and get a second job. I can't stand that.
Yeah, that's wonderful. That's wonderful.
Yeah, I think that's really great. I think that if you can get more people, I mean, especially where you are, well, I'm not going to say your location, but I think because of this state, there's a lot of unemployment still, regardless of what's published. And so you're doing a mitzvah. That means blessing for those that don't understand that Yiddish word. Um, it's a blessing because you're helping other people to survive. You're giving them food on their table, paying for their rent, but they're working for it like any other job. So it's great that people like you and others like you can give such a provision and opportunity to anybody that wants it. And once you've screened them, as you just said, and you can trust them, then fine. I just curious if I can ask, you said something that I had not heard before. You said that you don't pay them an hourly wage, and I've heard of salary, but you said you pay them by the project. So my curiosity question is then, if you're paying them by project, if the project takes 2 3 weeks, 4 weeks, does that mean you hold their paycheck for that one?
No. It doesn't work like that. So what happens is, every project, depending what it is, it has to be 6 months long. It has to be a certain type of retainer per month. And then from that, I figure out how many hours it would take that person to do that part. So it's not going to be the same group of people doing the same thing. It's going to be each person is responsible for something different from the other person. So this way, they're responsible for that. So when I had my interns and I had my workers, each person, depending, I had a whole medical field team. I had a whole, clubs, restaurant team. So, and it depends what they need to get done. And it's, every project is different, and every person's different, because I don't go out my way to take advantage of people in the digital world, because especially how long I've been in business. I want people to continue referring me client, but I don't want them to be like, I want to show my results. So I tend to like pay people based on how much I get for the retainer. Then I retain them. And then they tell me first they have to tell me how much they need to make, and then that's where I know if it's gonna work or not. And then from there, it's all based on retainers. My retainers are important. And then if we go over the hours, we charge a flat fee per hour. We're like an attorney's office. Like this is how much I need to get paid. This is how much my team needs to get paid if we go over these hours. And then we divided all that out. And because they're all 1099 because they're independent contractors, I don't like I put everything in people's responsibility. I'd be like and right now, my main goal right now is to find an assistant that's going to be like that handle all my stuff for me, so that I don't have to deal with it, and so I could go and meet people and not have to like answer the phone and respond to emails, and I have someone that does it all for me. That's what I'm right, and then I'm going to hire the rest of the team members.
Yeah,
So
that's really smart, Tanya. I mean, you're highly intelligent anyway. That's why everybody loves you. Um, so that's another mitzvah right there. And I'm glad you explained that to me as far as the different projects. I mean, I knew you would never rip anybody off. I mean, I know you better than that, obviously. I just didn't understand how that particular payment went because I'd never heard of that before. So I thank you for explaining it to this finite mind so that I could get a little bit of a handle on it, which I do, obviously. And like I said, I hope that you're able to find an assistant to help you, as you just said. I don't know if maybe your husband can help you. I'm sure he's tied up with whatever it is he does.
No, he's a financier. He
Yeah,
finds
well,
everything.
yeah.
He's not doing any work. Are you kidding?
Okay, well, if he's the financer, then hey, he don't need to. I thought it was coming through you. Oh well, it's the two of
No,
you.
like he
One
funds whatever I need to get things, different projects going, because we have to pay for a lot of like because I just don't do communication. I also do events, and I want to do what they call I call it the silent disco. So we are invested. I bought 25 headphones already, but we're gonna try them out and see how well they do. But I want to do music. That's why I want to do music NFTs, because I wanted to be able to have live in-person concert, but outside. I'm not doing anything indoor. So for me to do that, I gotta be. I already have my hologram machines. I have all these equipments. I have speakers. I have microphones. I have everything. And now I have the headphones. I only have 25, and if these work out, we're gonna get like 100 or 200 of them, and just to start out, and we just have our own little music thing, and we'll do it outside, and we'll have sponsorship and stuff like that. So stuff that I like to do. I don't like. I enjoy doing the social audio. I enjoy being around, talking and stuff like that. But I think what I'm missing is the whole in person thing. But I don't want to be indoors, so we're just gonna do everything outdoor. And you know how hot it is down here now, and so we're waiting a little bit when it gets cooler. And then I'm gonna be working with. I want to reach out to the Murakami Museum, because they have some really cool stuff. And the problem with a lot of things now is, in Florida, it's a noise. You can get a noise ticket, so that's why I feel like my headphones are going to do well. And I'm planning, like, if it works out really well, I want to rent it out too.
what kind, excuse me, I know Carlos wants to say something and Brace does too. But before I yield, I just have another question on that. You said that in the state of Florida that you can get charged with excessive noise. I thought that wasn't until after 10 p.m. in the evening, not during the day, unless an individual is in a different location, like an actual store, and making a scene. That's totally different than just being loud in a conversation in a coffee shop.
Well, I'm playing music
So what?
outside.
So what? You have it
Yeah, but
until
if I'm
you
playing
have
music and
security
people are
engagement.
dancing, it wouldn't be like the whole idea behind this is so that we don't have noise pollution or noise bothering anyone. And so people would attend, and I would have different uh, liquor companies, wine companies, whoever we're gonna. I think for now I'm trying to do more of like no alcohol events. So the difference with that is we're gonna play really fun, cool music, and with the music, you can't hear the music unless you have the headphones on. And then if you want to change the way the music want to play, you can click a button and it'll change it. And then I'll have a DJ and a musician and someone playing. So every day is gonna be different. I've been wanting to do this for a long time, so it's something I talked about doing before COVID, and now because of COVID and everything else, it's kind of like everything I've been working on is coming to fruition.
You know, Tanya, and then I'm going to yield to the others that I know want to speak by now. You're a very brilliant woman, and I'm sure you make your husband and family and friends extremely proud. And with that, I yield.
Thank you, Michael. And I'm kind of like stuck on the soundboard, so I can't see anyone right now. I can't get out of. I'm looking on the. I can't really get out of this unless I don't even know how to get out of this thing.
I was just gonna say, it sounds like you're busting with business. That assistant job pays pretty well. Hey, give me a holler. I mean, maybe that's an upgrade salary wise for me.
I don't know if I can afford you now. I don't know if I can afford you.
Maybe a year ago you get me on the cheap. Now I'm going to demand a little more. Yeah, good point. Oh God, those sound effects.
But you know, there's something very important. Listen, something that Tonya said, that it was so important that you don't want your people working for you needing to get a side job, a side hustle to survive. I mean, and that's, you know, in the old times, for example, in the 40s, I love Jack Benny. He was my favorite comedian of all time in the United States. He was elegant, he was clever, he was a hard worker. And you know what? They started in radio, and the people working in radio for several years, a couple of decades, then made the transition for television. And they started again, and they started in television, and they spent together another 20 years. They were working together for almost 50 years. You know how well that speaks about Mr. Jack Benny? I mean, because he was working with the same people who started with them 40 years ago. What does that mean? He's paying well. He's treating them well. He's creating a family, not only a company. That's something that we have to regain. I mean, to work watching the people. If you create a team for a project or whatever, I mean, that happened when I entered in the Venezuelan television. I felt that family sensation, and it was great because we are now a bunch of old people that we were together doing the happy television we wanted to make for 40 years, and we miss that a lot now because times have changed and digital is eating everything. But then, you know, I think the loyalty, that if you create loyalty around you, you will be blessed and the people will be happy to be around you.
I agree with you on that. I think this is so important, and you know, when you grow together, and it's always like, yeah, the attitude is your success is my success, right? If we all have that
Exactly,
same attitude,
exactly.
and so speaking of that, Carlos, you need to talk about your project because I think that's wonderful that what you're doing.
Well, the idea is very simple. I want to make start an interviewing the star hosts. I mean, people who have been doing 1 year and a half, the best hosts. But I want to do that bilingually, intermittently. 1 week will be in Spanish, 1 week will be in English. So I will try to cover the whole universe of the best host spaces host in that. In those languages. So I will be starting next Saturdays at 3 p.m. I will start with Graciela Moore. Graciela Moore, she's SOM Coaching, is her Twitter handle, sorry. And she actually has a space which is in English, but she wanted to reach the Spanish community. And that's how the idea for the whole space came. I said, okay, I can do that. I can interview you in Spanish, but then the next week I can have, for example, Madeline Sklar and interview her in English. And then I would love to have Jocelyn Main speaking in Spanish only, that people will see him in their little purple circle. And then when they get into the space that Saturday, say, hey, I cannot get him. He's speaking in Spanish only. And that's what I want to do. The name will be in English, it's like a Twitter Spaces Stars interviewed by Carlos Cecilia, and in Spanish it will be just like anfitriones estelares de Twitter Spaces entrevistado por Carlos Cecilia. I hope it works, and already I have Tonya will be my fourth guest talking in English. Okay, so that's it. I will start the campaign tonight or maybe tomorrow. So we'll be seeing it very soon. And I'm very happy. Hey, listen, we made 1 hour and a half. We are already past the half an hour, past the hour and a half. So I think that you can wrap it up unless you want to do a 2 hour space. I
Oh
don't have
no, I
trouble.
have to get going. I'm multitasking. I'm preparing for my Women in Communication Twitter Spaces tomorrow. We have she owns a magazine called Bella Magazine. She's also the founder of Bella Media. She's part of this whole women empowerment too. I mean, her name is Vanessa Colbus. So I just finished making her promo stuff. So and then I have dinner. I have a dinner. I have a bunch of people here for dinner too. I'm cooking dinner
Okay,
at the same
okay,
time.
perfect. Well,
But I want to say
on my
thank you
side,
to everyone for being here.
exactly. On my side too. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your words. Barbecue. I will DM you just like music. And well,
Sure.
happy new week. Big success for everybody, and may God bless you all. Bye bye.
Thank you, everybody, and I appreciate everyone for
Bye.
being here. And thank you, Bryce, for just keeping up.
Show up. Show up in other
I will show
spaces.
up.
Hey,
All right.
hey,
You're missing out. You're missing out.
hey,
Yeah,
sorry,
I feel like it.
sorry,
Bye, Michael, and thank you, Simon.
Sonia, sorry to interrupt. Carlos, I want to say hi to you until you leave the space. Hi, how are you, my old friend?
Charlie.
Charlie, you're here. Well, let me tell you that I have a retina detachment in my left eye in May the 10th, but
How?
I am totally okay now.
Well,
Thank God.
that's
But
perfect.
it
That's
was
perfect. Blessings to you, and hope see you on another spaces. You know.
Yes, 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 yes. I'm starting one next Saturday at 3 p.m. It will be, but I will still be with Tonya at this time on Sunday nights.
All right,
So
that's awesome.
I will be in two spaces.
That's
I
awesome.
did not forget about our phone call, Charlie. I know we
Yeah,
need to
yeah,
get caught up. I didn't forget about you. I just been so freaking crazy.
yeah.
But I'm gonna let you go. Just DM me and we'll talk on the
All
DMs.
right, all right.
But
So, are you ending this space?
yeah, I'm ending the space because I have to go cook
Oh,
dinner for my guests.
Use the soundboard. Use the soundboard. Give us a bye bye sound in your soundboard. Come on.
Bye, everybody. And music, I'm gonna do a space with you on music NFTs radio. So
all
again, everybody have a great day, and we will be back next Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll have Coco on with us. She's gonna talk about her art, and we actually met her through Charlie's Space. So thank you, Charlie, for always helping us with our guests. And again, thank you so much, everyone. Bye. And here we go. Here's a clap.
NFTs for a cause.
right.
NFTs for a cause.
Yes.
NFTs for a cause. Bye bye.
Send us your friends if they have a project. Bye, everyone.
Bye.